In the heart of the Nigerian plateau, buried beneath layers of soil, clay, and centuries of silence, lie faces frozen in time. Faces of a civilization that no longer speaks for itself, but through the artistry of terracotta. These artifacts hold secrets of people, of technology, of beliefs, of a world that flourished long before colonial maps reshaped the landscape. This is the story of the Nok Civilization, Nigeria's 2,500-year-old terracotta mystery. How did this astonishing culture emerge, thrive, and then vanish? And what can the broken pieces tell us about their world? Welcome to Chrono Tales TV. Today, we journey to central Nigeria, across the rugged hills and fertile valleys, to uncover one of the oldest known civilizations in sub-Saharan Africa. We will explore when and where the Nok lived, their remarkable artistry in terracotta, their mastery of tools, especially early ironworking, their social structure, what daily life may have looked like, and the enduring mystery of why the Nok civilization ended, along with the challenges of preserving their heritage today. By the end of this episode, you'll see not just sculptures, but a mirror reflecting early human ingenuity, belief, and culture. The Nok culture is named after the village of Nok, located in Kaduna State, northwestern Nigeria. But the reach of Nok art and its archaeological remains spans a much larger region, across parts of the Josin Plateau, into areas around Benue and Plateau states. Chronologically, most scholars date Nok culture between approximately 1500 BCE and 200 CE, placing it firmly in the early Iron Age in West Africa. This means that at a time when many parts of Europe, Asia, and Africa were experimenting with stone tools, agriculture, and early metallurgy, the Nok were already producing large terracotta figurines and working with iron. Geographically, the terrain they inhabited was a mix of plateau, forest, savanna, mosaic, river valleys, and hills. These landscapes provided clay, forest for fuel, water, and fertile lands for agriculture. Rivers and streams likely served both practical and symbolic roles in their lives. Our modern knowledge of Nok began rather by accident. In 1928, during tin mining near the village of Nok, miners uncovered clay figurines buried about 24 feet underground. These initial sculptures, especially human heads and partial figures, were striking in their expressiveness and style. Elongated faces, perforated or stylized eyes, elaborate hairstyles, and ornamentation. But because they were unearthed informally, context was lost, which means the exact layers they came from, their original orientation, and associated artifacts were often disturbed. In 1943, Bernard Fagg, a British colonial administrator and trained archaeologist, was shown one such terracotta used by locals as a scarecrow in a yam field. Fagg realized its importance, compared it to earlier finds, and began more systematic work. From then on, more altars, fragments, sculptures, and pottery were collected. Key archaeological sites include Samandikia, Taruga, Jamaye, and Katsinaala. At Samandikia, for example, excavations uncovered terracotta fragments, iron artifacts, stone tools, and evidence of iron smelting. Radiocarbon dating at various sites provides dates between about 900 BCE to 200 CE, depending on the location and stratigraphy. A striking feature is how many sculptures are fragmentary. Heads are more common than full bodies. This is likely due to erosion, looting, agricultural activities, and the fact that many terracottas were buried in alluvial deposits where they could be moved or destroyed by water. Archaeologists, through excavation and analysis, have also uncovered iron smelting furnaces, tools like hoes, bracelets, knives, arrowheads, and stone tools, telling us Nok was not just an art culture, but one with agricultural, metallurgical, and social complexity. Perhaps the most famous legacy of Nok is its art. The terracotta figures, heads, full figures, human, and often animal, are unique. Their style is immediately recognizable. Idiosyncratic facial features, stylized hair, large eyes, often triangular or elliptical, exaggerated lips or mouths, ornaments, sometimes scars, or other decorative markings. Many of the sculptures were hollow and coil-built, meaning the artisans used rolls of clay, hollow on the inside, which reduces cracking when firing. This is a sophisticated method. The terracotta may have been fired in simple kilns or even open. Experiments show that high temperatures were achieved. The clay used seems consistent across many artifacts, suggesting perhaps centralized or specialized production, or at least a shared supply of raw materials. The scale of the art is significant. Some heads are life-sized or near life-sized. Full standing figures, though rarer, have been found. The ornamentation suggests personal identity, ritual, and status. Elaborate hairdos, jewelry, body scarification, or markings. But what were these sculptures for? Scholars debate. Were they part of funerary rituals? Ancestor worship? Symbolic items placed in shrines? Markers of status? Perhaps all of those, in different regions or periods. The lack of written records makes certainty difficult. Another artistic feature, variation. While many sculptures share the core style, there are differences in posture, size, detail, and finish. Some figures represent a seated posture, others standing, some animated, hands on knees, in motion, and there are also animals and mythical hybrids. But Nok was not just clay and art, it was technology. One of the hallmark features of the Nok Civilization is its early use of iron. Ironworking is rare in very ancient societies in sub-Saharan Africa, and Nok is among the earliest known. At sites like Terracotta, archaeologists have identified iron smelting furnaces, some of them dating to around 600 BCE or earlier. Charcoal samples from those furnaces, metal slag, and iron tools like knives, arrowheads, and bracelets have been found. This was a technological leap. Iron tools allowed for more efficient farming, hunting, woodworking, and crafting. Nok people cultivated crops, like pearl millet and cowpeas, and used tools to improve yields. The presence of both stone tools and iron tools suggests a transition phase. Nok culture may have built upon earlier stone tool traditions, even as iron became more widespread. Mastery of iron smelting requires knowledge of high heat, materials that can withstand that heat, and control over fuel and airflow. These are complex technological skills. Interestingly, some of the terracotta figurines are found in close association with iron smelting sites, leading to theories that art, ritual, and metallurgy were intertwined, not purely secular or utilitarian. Perhaps sculptures were placed in or near furnaces as spiritual offerings or rituals connected with metalworking. From the physical artifacts, we can attempt to sketch how the Nok people might have lived. They were farmers. Pearl millet, cowpeas, and local grains were staples. The landscape allowed for mixed farming and gathering. Wild plants, forest products, and hunting also supplemented food. Houses may have been built of perishable materials like wood, thatch, or mud. Because of the humid and tropical climate, few above-ground structures remain. So we rely heavily on pottery, terracotta, iron refuse, and soil remains. Artisans working with clay and specialists in metallurgy were likely respected members of the community. The stylistic uniformity of certain terracottas over a wide area suggests either shared cultural values or trade of ideas, or both. Raw materials such as clay deposits and iron ore were key resources. There is evidence of trade, not necessarily long-distance international trade, but regional exchange. Iron tools, pottery, and perhaps decorative objects may have been exchanged among farming communities. Rivers likely served as transport routes. The existence of figurines, shrines, and sculptures suggests ritual life, ancestor veneration, spirituality, and possibly rites associated with life cycles, birth, death, fertility. Some sculptures may have had symbolic or religious meaning. The hollow heads, expressive features may have been aimed at capturing essence, identity, or memory, but much is uncertain. There is no written record. We do not know if Nok had a centralized kingship or chiefs, or how governance was structured. The spread of similar styles implies some shared cultural identity, but likely this was not a single cohesive state. Rather, many small communities shared similar art styles, technologies, and perhaps religious beliefs. They understood farming, used iron to clear land, tools for craft. Clay sourcing and fuel for firing were significant. The ecosystem, forest, water, clay beds, was integral. Changes in climate, vegetation, or soil exhaustion may have played a role in the culture's changes over time. Let us chart the rise, prosperity, and eventual decline of the Nok. Between circa 1500 to 1000 BCE, early stages of Nok culture emerge: small farming communities, stone tool use, pottery. By about 900 to 600 BCE, ironworking becomes more established, the art becomes more standardized, figurines increase in number and complexity. Figurines increase in number and complexity. At its height, approximately between 500 BCE and 200 CE, Nok culture appears widespread. Its artistic output mature, technological skill high, and communities interconnected. Large figurines, complex iron implements, and regional spread indicate influence and relative stability. Around 200 to 500 CE, the Nok culture declined. The decline is gradual, not abrupt. Around 200 to 500 CE, the Nok culture declined. The decline is gradual, not abrupt. Several theories exist, including environmental changes, which cover shifts in rainfall, depletion of forest cover, and soil exhaustion. Social change, which is about population movements, changing trade dynamics, and possibly conflict or disease. Other theories are technological diffusion, which is about ironworking spread elsewhere, cultures transform. Perhaps Nok traditions blended into or were replaced by emerging communities, and loss of craft tradition, which explores if artisans moved or if socio-political structures changed. Art production may have waned. But no single definitive cause is agreed upon. What remains mysterious is that Nok did not leave written records, large architectural ruins, or centralized urban centers in the way later states did. After around 500 CE, the terracotta tradition fades. Ironworking continues under different styles, but the distinct Nok artistic expression disappears from the record. Though the Nok vanished as a distinct culture, their legacy lives on in multiple ways. Many art historians see parallels between Nok terracottas and later Yoruba and Benin art, particularly in the stylization of human faces, ornamentation, and perhaps in techniques. The sophistication of Nok sculpture suggests a long tradition of art in this part of West Africa. Nok iron smelting is among the earliest in sub-Saharan Africa, laying the groundwork for subsequent societies. And while the direct descendants are not clearly identified due to long time gaps and lack of continuity in some areas, the Ham people and other ethnic groups in Kaduna State and surrounding regions are considered possible descendants or inheritors of aspects of Nok culture. Nok terracottas have become valuable globally, not only as art, but as symbols of pre-colonial African ingenuity. In recent decades, there has been increasing attention on the repatriation of Nok artifacts held in foreign museums and collections. In 2020, France returned a cultural property of the Nok Civilization to Nigeria. These returns help correct historical imbalances and preserve heritage. But much of Nok's heritage is threatened by looting, illegal trade, and destruction from agriculture, mining, and climate change. Preserving Nok culture is not easy. Since the 1970s, many sites have been looted. Terracotta sculptures are dug up and trafficked, fragments, sometimes intact pieces, without archaeological documentation, losing context forever. Erosion from water, seasonal flooding, erosion of soil, changing climate, and deforestation all contribute to damage to buried artifacts, exposure, and loss. Many sites have not been systematically excavated. Some discoveries are accidental. Funding, political will, and capacity for archaeological teams are limited. Thus, much of Nok remains unknown. Museums both in Nigeria and abroad are increasingly engaging in preserving Nok artifacts. There is growing international collaboration, stricter laws on antiquities, and efforts to return stolen pieces. Documentation, conservation, and public education are keys. For all we know, the Nok civilization still holds many mysteries, including who exactly the Nok people were. Their language, precise beliefs, and social structure and governance are unknown. Why did the style die out? What precise combination of changes led to the decline? Was there a centralized political authority? To what extent did Nok influence later cultures? Evidence suggests dispersed farms rather than large cities, but we cannot rule out small centers of authority. Were they purely ritualistic? Funerary? Social status markers? Did they serve political functions? To what extent did Nok influence later cultures, such as Hausa, Yoruba, Benin, etc.? These questions continue to drive archaeological work, art historical analysis, and ethnographic comparison. Today, Nok terracottas are highly prized, displayed in museums around the world: Lagos, Jos, London, Paris, Berlin, and many private collections. One notable piece, a Jima head, is in the Nigerian National Museum in Lagos. In 2020, for example, France repatriated a cultural property of the Nok to Nigeria. This is part of a global trend toward recognizing that artifacts taken during colonial or illicit contexts belong in their places of origin. Locally, many artisans, scholars, and cultural groups draw inspiration from the Nok style. In fashion, sculpture, and public art, the motifs, hairstyles, ornamentation, and facial stylization persist. Many Nigerians see Nok as a source of national pride. Tourism potential is high: archaeological trails, museums, and educational programs. However, challenges remain: funding, infrastructure, protection of sites, training of conservators and archaeologists. The Nok Civilization reminds us of something essential: that human creativity and innovation transcend time. 2.5 millennia ago, people in central Nigeria were shaping clay into iconic forms and forging iron tools that shaped their lives, developing art and technology in ways that echo even into our own time. Their story is fragmentary, but no less powerful. The broken heads and shattered figurines, they speak of lives lived, beliefs held, and beauty expressed. They challenge assumptions that Africa, before colonialism, was uncivilized. They assert a counter-narrative of art, sophistication, and permanence. As we piece together what Nok once was, we also reaffirm what it means to preserve culture and to respect those who came before us. If you are moved by the Nok story, there are ways you can help preserve this legacy. Support museums and archaeological research. Demand the restitution of artifacts where possible. Learn, share, and teach. If you want more forgotten civilizations, subscribe to Chrono Tales TV and hit the notification bell. Suggest in the comments which ancient cultures you would like us to explore next. Perhaps the Ife, the Oyo, or the Kanem Bornu. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. Until next time, may our past be remembered so our future is inspired.